everyone. Only just an hour and 10 minutes late for my Facebook Live this morning. That's the trouble when you're relying on technology and especially internet. That played up a bit this morning, blaming my son for being at home on the internet and playing his game, but he was not. It's just been affecting our internet within here. So while I've got some, I thought I better come on here, even though I am late. I thought I better come on here and talk about what I was going to talk about. So what was I going to do today at 11 o'clock? I was going to talk about marketing for your therapy practice, and I was going to share my 4 tips or 4 reminders really. We always talk about how you can do the marketing, and this I will cover time and time again. You know, when we're looking at your marketing pillars and what you can use for marketing and different things. But there's really 4 points I want you to remember when you are thinking about your marketing, because it might be that you're doing all the pillars, you are putting everything in place, but it might be these 4 main things that you may not be thinking of when you are doing the marketing, and that's why it might not be succeeding that you want it to do or getting the clients that you want. So who am I? I'm Alison Brown, or Ali as I prefer, of Ali's Therapy Academy, or whichever way I want to do it, of Ali's Therapy Academy. And I'm going to be talking to you about 4 marketing tips. And how do I know about these? Well, I've been running my own holistic therapy practice now since 2000. So we are now into our 17th, coming up for our 18th year. And yes, I am still running my therapy practice, still running my mobile therapy practice, and still I class it as very successful and very happy with it. So that's what I do with Ali's Therapy Academy, is I share my ideas, my suggestions, and what have worked and what have failed for me over the years. So these are today's 4 marketing tips. So tip 1 really is to stop marketing to everyone. Now, you may have heard this, you have probably been told this. I know in the first fair few years of running my own therapy business that I was out there, and if anybody asked me, oh, can you do this therapy, can you do that therapy, can you do it for me, it was, yeah, I can do it for everyone. I can massage the elderly, I can massage children, I can massage mums, dads, females, women, men. My massage, my reflexology, all my therapies could cover for everyone. So I will work with anyone and everyone. And so I was marketing the same way. I was just talking about my reflexology, I was talking about my massage, and I was just putting the word out there. And yes, I did get clients, but again, not as many as I wanted when I started. It took me a long while to create and get the business and to get the clients that I wanted. Then finally, with having some proper marketing training, which I then obviously had to tweak for my own business, I realized what was going wrong, that I was putting my marketing message out to everybody. Yeah, I can work on everyone, but when you put your marketing message out to everybody, nobody will see it. You'll get the odd ones that will spot that and go, oh yeah, I want that. I could do with booking that massage now, or I could do with booking that reflexology, and that's fine, but it's not enough. And the thing is, you could be spending money on leaflets, on flyers, you could be spending money in a magazine, you could be spending money in your village magazine, you could be spending money on Facebook ads, you could be spending money putting up posters, whatever. What you need to do is not to market to everyone, because then it's like a scattergun approach. It's just scattering everywhere and nobody's seeing it. What you need to do is to where we call the target market. It's where we call the ideal client. Now, in a marketing world and in a corporate world, they'll all know what I mean with that. But a lot of therapists, and myself included, years ago thought, well, what's an ideal client? What's the target market? I work with anyone. I'm not ruling anyone out, because if I rule anyone out, then they're not going to know about me. They're not going to, I'm not going to be able to work with them. No, I'm not. missing anyone out. That's fine. But if you use that same marketing message to everyone, nobody's going to see it. You will have a client who you love working with. Look at the clients you've got now. Is there a common denominator for the clients you've got, that the ones you really like working with? Are they professional people, or are they mums, or is it, you know, children, or do they struggle with a certain condition that you know about, that you're experienced with? If there's, you know, looking at that common denominator, if there's something that stands out, that's your ideal client. Maybe you're looking specifically for sport injuries, whatever, you know, have a look at that common denominator, what it is, or what it is you really love working with, or there's a client that you've got that you really like and you want more of that client. That's your ideal client. That's your target message or your target market. Now, I'm not saying you only have the one. This is the thing. You have a marketing message for that ideal client. If you then want to also work with children, you want to work with mums, you want to work with the elderly, well, if you start talking about fertility or pregnancy massage or sports injuries, the elderly are probably not going to look at it. So if you want the elderly to work on the elderly, you'll have a marketing message for the elderly. If you want to work with the dads, you'll use the language and the marketing message for the dads. If you're looking for the mums, if you're looking for the children, have a marketing message and be specific. If you can nail it down and you only want one ideal client, even better, because it just means it's simpler marketing for you. But if you want to gather more people, if you want to gather a variety of people, have a specific marketing message for each one. Yeah, it may cost more in your marketing and in your marketing pillars and in with your leaflets and things like that. That's down to you, to your choice of what you want to do. But if you can get it down to one client or one ideal client who you're talking to, then that's all you've got to deal with. It's just that one marketing message. You know where they'll be. You'll know where to go and find those people, those specific people that you really want. That's what you're going to look for. So that point one of stop marketing to everyone. That's that point. If you market to everybody, nobody will see it. Keep it and the language and the marketing message to the people that you really want to see it, to the people that really want to come through your door. Again, it's the same as when you put discounts out and when you put offers out. That's great, but then are you then attracting clients that only want discounts and offers? Okay, so have a look and see what it is, who you really want to come through your door and who you really want to work with. So that's tip number one. Tip number two is, again, and all these tips I'm going through are things that I've done myself and I've learned my lesson. Over the years, it's cost me, and I've learned my lesson, and I'm now, you know, putting things in place. So step number two is stop selling the services, sell the solutions. Okay? So when you're putting your leaflets together, when you're doing your website, when you're doing, here we go, phone's going off now. I shall keep going. When you're doing your, it's completely thrown me. When you're talking about reflexology, when you're talking about massage, when you're talking about Indian head, if you're talking about beauty therapy treatments, if you're talking about hairdressing, don't talk about what it is you can actually do. Okay? Yes, you want to say, you know, the reflexology, but you want to mention it, but you don't. People don't really want to know all about what it is you are, what you've trained in, how many years you've been training, where you've trained, what qualifications you have, all that. They don't want to know that. They want to know what's in it for them. So you start then sharing with them you're telling them the benefits. So it's the solutions and the benefits. So you're selling them the solution of what you can do. Now, I know in our industry we have to be very careful because the Advertising Standards Agency, and we've got to be careful of what we can say. And if you go to their website, and also within the Academy website, there's a link there that takes you straight to the ASA, so you can find out what you can and cannot say. We can't talk about conditions. We can't talk about, it doesn't matter if we do that actually with our clients, but we can't talk about it with marketing. Not that we'd ever say that we can cure, not that we'd ever say that we can treat, but what we can do is that we can aid and we can help people to look after that condition. We're just helping and aiding people and supporting them with their back problem. We're not dealing with that back problem. That's how we use to market it. We're not working on that back problem. We are helping and aiding our clients to help with their back problem. Okay, we're supporting our clients. So that's the way that we market it. So when you're going through this, you're talking about the solutions and you're talking about the benefits. It's what are they going to feel? What's their experience in having a therapy session with you? What's, you know, say, sell your therapy room, sell your couch. What type of experience are they going to get? Also, at the end of it, you know, are you going to give them a tea or a coffee or, you know, a drink at the end of it? How will they, you know, look at what their feelings will be? So it's all about what's in it for them and why they should come and see you. So it's not about, remember, you got your marketing, then to get anybody to actually book, you are selling. So always then look into that. It's the marketing, it's the selling. It's two totally different things. Okay, so you're marketing first and then you're selling, and what you're doing is you're selling that solution. Okay, so it's not the services, it's not the reflexology, it's not the massage, it's the solution that you're selling. That's what will then convert people to become your clients. So it's all about the benefit, how you will make them feel, what the experience will be with you. So it's all about in it for them. Tip number 3, what we've got then is be visible. This is one I always see and I get when I chat to other therapists and they say to me, and I go through, I do an overview with them, how are you doing, what you doing, what marketing pillars are you doing, are you doing, you know, and they say to me, oh, well, I've tried everything, I'm not getting clients. And I say, okay, right, that's fine. Let's have a look then, let's have a, you know, indication of what you're doing. Do you have a Facebook page? Yes. Right, do you, you know, how many times you're posting? Oh, not much because it doesn't bring anything. Do you have a website? No, not yet, can't afford it. Okay. Do you do any marketing? Can you see where I'm coming from? Do you have a database? Do you send out newsletters? Do you keep in touch with clients? Have you got a freebie? You might be looking at me going, oh, but God, Al, that's all work. That all takes expense. You are not running a business any different to whether it's Tesco's, whether it's, I'm just going to say Woolworths then, but they've gone, haven't they? Many years ago. You're running a business like any other. We're all in business the same. So you use the same marketing techniques. Again, I hear other people saying, oh, well, you know, you got marketeers that put it out there that you've got to do this, 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 and this. And it's different for us because we're heart-centered. Oh, hello, Louise. Hiya, thank you for joining. Yes, wrong time. We're now down to an hour and a half late, but we're here. We're here. Internet's working. And if you can see me, then it must be working all right. So what we're doing, you know, you've got all those things that are out there and they're coming through. You know that you're working, you're doing your business. We are businesses like anybody else, whether it's a garage, whether it's a tire place, whether it's a supermarket. We are all businesses the same, and you will find it's all about customer care, it's all about service, and it's all about, well, customer care service, not, yeah, go back. Anyway, you know, it's all about building that relationship, that it's taking the marketing, it's being visible, it's being there for your client. So this is the same as within you running your own business. People will not just buy from you. They will Google search massage Littlehampton or massage Newport or reflexology Liverpool, whatever. They will type that in and they will get given, you know, with any luck, well, normal places, a whole list of therapists. They will then go and investigate. If there's no pictures of you, if there's no pictures of your therapy room, if there's no evidence of you being in business, they won't find you. And this is all about, it's building that evidence. People now, you can get recommendations and referrals. Oh my goodness, yes, word of mouth, that's essential when building a business, and that's what we all aim for. But some of us don't so much have that luck of that working. Some of us actually have clients that like to keep it to themselves, that you're their therapist. They don't want you to be with anyone else. They only want you to work for them. So, and there are clients like that. So, you've got to put the word out there. And it's okay saying, yes, okay, I've got a Facebook page. Yes, I've got a website. Yes, I've got business cards. Yes, I've got leaflets. But if you're not putting it out there, if you're not showing it, if you're not putting out the evidence, nobody's going to see it. I mentioned earlier in tip 1 about don't put marketing to everyone. Do it for your ideal client. But it's exactly the same as when you've got to be visible. You've got to put the Facebook posts or the social media posts out. You've got to put information out on your website. Blogging is even better because then that's continuous. That just keeps refreshing your website if you continually blog and share your expertise, share your help, share your knowledge. It's also like, if you can, go and network. Go and network with other local businesses, networking groups, women support groups. Go and give talks. It's being visible. You are the face and you are your business. So don't hide behind your logo. Be there, show your face, show who you are, even be authentic. Share stories of yourself. And this really then leads into step number 4, and this is tip number 4. And again, these 4 to me are really very, very important. And tip number 4 is building relationships. Clients aren't going to book with you straight away. Okay, they're not going to Google that in, see the number and go, oh yeah, ring, hello, can I make an appointment for massage please? They will normally then go through the system of checking your website out, maybe checking your social media, looking to see if there's any reviews, just seeing what you do and what you provide, because they're not instantly going to go on what you look like or what you offer. And again, this is where I say about building a database. That you're at a fair, you're at an event, you're standing there at your stand, your table, you've paid for that for the day, you're doing mini taster treatments, and then you might be chatting to them and they're going, oh, that's lovely, oh yes, I'm going to book for one of them, haven't got my diary with me now, but I'll be in touch, and that's the last you hear of them. So this is where you collect email addresses and you build up and you create a newsletter and you send out a newsletter to these people. They can easily unsubscribe. If you're using something like MailChimp, they can easily subscribe for it, and that's fine. You know then where you stand. But if you can keep in contact with them via newsletter, or you send them the odd offer now and again, or you've got maybe a freebie that you've got added up onto your website, or you're sharing stuff on Facebook page, it gets them to know you, to build a trust, to build that relationship, and then they go, yeah, she's making sense actually, right, yeah, she certainly sounds like she knows what I need, that's me, she's talking to me. So they'll then ring up, or their email or their text or whatever, to make that appointment. Don't assume that people will book instantly, that you're there going, right, business is set up, I've got a gorgeous room, I'm qualified in all my therapies, I'm passionate, I love what I do. Well, unless they know what you're doing, they're not going to book you up, they're not going to see you. And it's the same. So that's that, being visible bit with tip number 3. Tip number 4 is that don't expect them. They normally don't jump in straight away. They normally want to just find out some information about you, check you out, and read the evidence. So it's, again, as I said, it's building that relationship, is sharing you. I'm not saying for you to tell them your life story, but maybe you've got some interests, like I'm, in my newsletter to my clients, they know about when I'm going kayaking, or when I tried paddleboarding, which was a complete disaster. But I had a go, I had a go at paddleboarding. My husband and I now, we're trying kayaking. I mean, these silly things we do. For my 50th, I went and did a 26-mile walk for Help for Heroes. I put that in my with my newsletter to my clients. It's not that I was looking for sponsorship. I was just letting them know that I was trying something, that I was doing something, and letting them know a bit about my background. I don't share anything about my children. It's none of their business, and my boys, life is private. But you can share things about you. You can build that relationship. You can tell them little bits of story. Maybe you even want to think, maybe for your Facebook page, you might want to do a Facebook Live as I am now. It doesn't have to be that professional. Look at me, for goodness sake. It doesn't have to be that professional, but maybe you want to go on Facebook Live, do a quick Facebook Live of your therapy room, or sharing your story of why you got into this business. Why are you doing your therapies? Maybe it's sharing that. Maybe you just want to do a recording on your phone or something like that that you can then put on your YouTube. Because again, using YouTube, you can then do little demonstrations of self-help massage or self-help reflexology demonstrating on the hand. Or maybe that you want to share how to do aromatherapy and blending it. You know, there are different ways. You obviously got to look into what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do within your industry and what you're qualified for. But you'll be surprised at how much you can do, and I'll not realise that that you're not doing it. I hear it too many times from therapists when I'm chatting with them, and they're saying, "Oh yes, I'm doing this, and this." And then they've got it in place, but they're actually not doing anything with it. They're not promoting it. They're not sharing it. They're not putting it out there. They're not talking to people. And that's the only way that you can get that and get people to book up and make that appointment, is to build that relationship with them. Again, another good one is be part of the community. Whether you volunteer to help, say if you've got a local village or something, if you live in a village, you've got, the summer fairs and the fetes. There might be other town things that they do, that they build up for. I know here we have a fireworks bonfire night. I mean, you can build up and you can volunteer for it in the community, or you can offer to take part of it, because the more, again, you do things like that, you become known and your business become known within that. And again, it's like networking. Again, I hear of people who go in networking and they go, well, that was a waste of time. I didn't get any clients from it. It's building the relationships within businesses in that networking that may support you and help you with your accounts or your social media or your website or graphic design. But it's also building a relationship with them. They will then go and tell other people about you. That's what networking is. It's all the networking. Each person at a networking meeting will know 6 people. Those 6 people will know 6 people, and it goes on, and the network is spread wider, and your name and your business cards get further out. So once you know what you're doing, your clarity, your mission, once you know what you're doing and why you're doing it for, it's so much easier then to have that marketing message. So there we go. There's my 4 top tips. My 4 steps that I believe in marketing. I talk about doing the message, doing the different marketing pillars, and how the ways that we can work, things like that. But it also comes down to those 4 things. It's stop selling to everyone. I know your ideal client, your target market, and your marketing message. Number 2 is stop selling the services. You're selling a solution. So it's all about the benefits, not the features. Number 3 is be visible. Stop hiding behind your logo. Get you and your business out there and let people know you exist. And step number 4 is to build relationships. Don't expect people to book straight away with you. You're going to get the odd few that will, but most people won't. They want to search and then they want to research. Think how it is when you are. When you want to book that, when you need a dentist, or when you need a doctor, or when you want to go and get a hairdresser, or when you want to go and get your nails done. You always look for recommendations first, and you do a search before you just book up with the first one you see. So those are the 4 tips. More about this is that next Wednesday at 10 o'clock, I'm now getting my fingers crossed now, internet, going to be okay. I'm running a webinar Wednesday morning next week, 10 o'clock, which is all about launching your therapy business and being visible, being seen, and the 7 chakra steps that I use to build and launch my business. So it's putting the groundwork in, It's making sure everything's in place and you've got the foundations in place to launch your business. It's launching your business. Then it's on about being seen, building relationships. So we're looking at the 7 steps that you need, that I think you need to go through into getting that business. It doesn't matter if you're just launching or whether you've been in business for a while. This webinar is still beneficial because there may be things in there that you are still missing from your business. So that's Wednesday, 10 o'clock. Check out the Facebook page or the events on the website, because the link is in there that'll take you through to sign up. Because even if you can't make it live, still register, and then you'll get sent the recording once it's done. Day after, you'll get the recording of the webinar, and also the 7 chakra steps checklist, which you can then as a reminder, as a check off then, to make sure that you've got everything in place. So it's a good little information sheet. So that's the webinar I've got, but do check out the website. Lots of free information on there for you to access. Lots of webinars I've got coming up now through the year. And also just check out the page, because again, that just keeps you up to date and lets you know when I am doing more Facebook Lives, when I get the time right, when the internet's right. Oh well, we got there in the end. Thanks very much for joining, and I will catch up and speak to you again soon. Bye.